Rome's Stadio Olimpico. The other semi-final involves Napoli and Atalanta, so there is scope for a repeat of last year's final. Juventus beaten on penalties by Rino Gattuso's Napoli. Juventus have been dominant in this trophy in recent years, hoovering up four in a row when Massimiliano Allegri was at the helm. As for Inter, this was the last piece of silverware they lifted. Now 10 long years ago. Andrea Pirlo already has one trophy since taking over as Juventus boss. Victory in the Super Cup over Napoli. That was the game, actually, which followed the defeat here for the Bianconeri in the league. Very little to choose between them in Serie A, it must be said. Inter second with 44 points, just 2 off their cross-city rivals Milan. Juventus down in 4th, 5 points adrift of the Nerazzurri. But Serie A can wait. The Coppa Italia takes centre stage here at San Siro. What a mouth-watering occasion it is as well, on a chilly evening in the north of Italy. Few fixtures, if any, have the same appeal and intrigue of the Derby d'Italia, Inter against Juventus. But this game has an extra edge. It's even spicier and tastier with the prospect of knocking out their great rivals and the knowledge that whoever prevails between now and next Tuesday in Turin will be rewarded with a place in the Coppa Italia final. Juventus, the record holders in this competition, 13 times they've triumphed in the Italian domestic cup. Lucky for some on this occasion if you're of a Bianconeri persuasion. As for Inter, 7 triumphs, but not for a while. Some of the supporting cast have got the respective sides this far, but now in the last 4 with the trophy in sight, the likes of Gianluca Frabotta have to make way. The big hitters come in. Radu Dragushin, who was ever present in this competition, but experience and seniority hold sway. Wojciech Szczęsny is Juventus's #1, undisputed in that respect, but Gigi Buffon has done a remarkable job when deputising in the Pole's absence. Alvaro Morata likes playing against Inter. We may well see him as the evening wears on. And Federico Chiesa once again on target at the weekend. How his stock has risen since signing from Fiorentina in the summer. As with every game in this 2020-21 season, the match is being played behind closed doors. But certainly the Nerazzurri fans made the home team welcome. Big atmosphere outside the ground. We heard fireworks 16 days ago when the sides met in the league, so much so that kickoff was delayed. You wouldn't bet against a similar welcoming party this evening either. Leonardo Bonucci, once of Inter, albeit a brief stay. Player who has now become synonymous with Juventus. You do expect we might see Bonucci from the start, were Juventus to make it through to the final. But this evening it's down to the youthful pair of De Ligt and Demiral. A watching brief for Andrea Ranocchia. His namesake is not amongst the Juventus substitutes this evening. Filippo, who had been involved for Juventus in previous rounds. And Mattias Vecino, named in the Inter squad for the first time this season. What a boost for the Uruguayan. A man who doesn't necessarily have fond memories of meeting Juventus, however. Expectation is high. On form, it's very hard to pick a favourite in terms of history and prestige and their trophy cabinet. Juventus are always the front runners in Italian football. Gianpaolo Calvarese is the man who's been given the honour of taking charge of the Derby d'Italia. We hope it will be a fair match. It could yet develop into a fractious occasion. It often has degenerated in the past. Such is the importance of this fixture, such is the simmering animosity between the two fan bases in particular. All eyes, as ever, on Juventus's talisman. Cristiano Ronaldo has yet to add the Coppa Italia to his burgeoning trophy cabinet, but Juventus just 2 matches away from the final, and a chance to get one over on Inter, a chance to deal a psychological blow to the Nerazzurri as we kick into the second half of the Serie A season. Andrea Pirlo has steadied the ship after that defeat in the league here. It was all doom and gloom in Conti Nasser, Juventus's general headquarters, after they were dispatched fairly comfortably by Inter in Serie A. But since then, it's a bianconeri team transformed. 16 days on from their league meeting, once more Inter host Juventus in the biggest fixture in the Italian game. San Siro plays host to the first instalment of this Coppa Italia semi-final, and both sides know they can take a big step towards the final at the Stadio Olimpico this evening. A match which needs no further introduction. We're just moments away from Inter against Juventus in the Coppa Italia. Two old friends in opposite dugouts, and Antonio Conte makes half a dozen changes from the win over Benevento. Hakimi and Lukaku miss out through suspension, while Eriksen, Gagliardini, Perisic and Ranocchia all drop to the bench. In come De Vrij, Darmian, Brozovic, Vidal, Young and Alexis Sanchez. This is arguably the strongest side the Nerazzurri could put out tonight. Two goalkeepers, the two skippers this evening. Handanovic, club captain for Inter, but with no Chiellini, with no Bonucci. Gigi Buffon not only starts, but also wears the armband this evening. The most experienced player of all the 22 out there. The officials and the goalkeepers in good spirits. Let's hope for a friendly occasion and, above all, an entertaining game of football. The Juventus starting 11 shows just 4 survivors from the victory at Sampdoria in the shape of Cuadrado, Bentancur, McKennie and Ronaldo. Buffon is the designated goalkeeper for the Coppa Italia, and the captain is just 5 days on from his 43rd birthday. Incredible longevity from the bianconeri keeper. Andrea Pirlo spoke of the rather chastening defeat here 16 days ago as a turning point in Juventus' season. Can they kick on? Exact revenge against Antonio Conte's Nerazzurri? Or will it be, once again, the Inter coach left celebrating come full-time here? This only the first half, lest we forget. Two-legged tie in the Coppa Italia semi-final. Final checks for the match official then. Home colours de rigueur, it's Nerazzurri for Inter, bianconeri for Juventus. The biggest fixture in the Italian game. And we're up and running at San Siro. Will be interesting to see how Juventus set up. On paper it's a 4-4-2, but they are malleable. They can go to a 3-5-2 when required. Certainly the personnel out there tonight doesn't suggest that'll be possible from the outset. They do have scope to go to 4-3-3. As for Inter, it's very much 3-5-2 for Conte. This game tops the lot, the Derby d'Italia, as it was once dubbed by iconic Italian journalist Gianni Brera. And whatever Milan fans might think, with their 7 European Cups, which is more than these two sides combined, with their 18 league titles, which is the same as Inter. There's just nothing like Inter against Juventus. Milan against Turin. Certainly no love lost between the two sets of supporters. Here's Bentancur. First touch for Bernardeschi. Bentancur again. That was patient build-up from Juventus, but eventually they couldn't find McKennie. Calmly done by Bastoni. Inter have certainly gone from strength to strength since that win over Juventus here in the league. Just the one slip, which was the goalless draw at the Dacia Arena against Udinese. They made it to the semi-finals by beating Milan late on, very late on indeed. Christian Eriksen with a last gasp free kick. As for Juventus, they haven't conceded since that defeat here, which came courtesy of goals from Vidal and Barella. 4 victories, 4 clean sheets, a piece of silverware in the process too. They were impressive and efficient in Reggio Emilia, in dispensing with Napoli, exacting some semblance of revenge for the Azzurri winning the Coppa Italia on penalties last June. Revenge once again on the agenda tonight. The bianconeri had things all their own way in recent years when it came to this fixture. And yet there is belief now, growing belief, that Inter can finally overhaul Juventus, champions for the last 9 years, and also 13 times winners in this competition. Vidal. Expect it to be tight. Expect it to be tense. Away goes Darmian. Easy enough for Buffon. Matteo Darmian, curiously, is the only survivor of the 2011 Coppa Italia final, the last time Inter lifted silverware. But he was on the opposition team that day, the Palermo side. Or in the Palermo squad, I should say. Bernardeschi, he thought he was caught. Advantage played because Ronaldo has it. Well in by Skriniar. Barella's flick. Well in by Rabiot. This is Kulusevski. Bernardeschi can deliver. Still Bernardeschi. Too high for Ronaldo. The flag eventually goes up. Inter were fairly convinced that Bernardeschi was offside. Touch and go. Bastoni, the man dawdling somewhat. That was the trip from Barella on Bernardeschi. Bastoni. Clever ball to find Alexis Sanchez. Well in by Rabiot. This is Cuadrado, who's so important to everything Juventus do, not only defensively but in an attacking sense as well. It was his assist to make absolutely sure of the points at Sampdoria. Alexis Sanchez. Barella tosses it in. De Ligt's header finds the feet of McKennie. Very calmly done by Buffon. Juventus building out well from the back. Bentancur just took his eye off the ball at the crucial moment. Inter's absentees are big ones, it must be said. Romelu Lukaku suspended, so too Achraf Hakimi. Both players booked in that victory over Milan. Hakimi only played the second half, but his impact was considerable. Damian, the man in for the Moroccan this evening. As for Juventus, well, the quarter-final victory over Spal was convincing. 4-0 the final score there. Certainly a more benign draw than the one Inter faced. But the Nerazzurri have grown in confidence and self-belief since knocking out their other great rivals, Milan. Bentancur. De Ligt. Great to see him back playing regular football as well. It's been a frustrating time of things for De Ligt, who along with the likes of Cuadrado and Alexandro, all out there tonight, had come down with COVID-19 positive cases. Plenty of variables when it comes to recovery time from the virus. Demiral. Cuadrado. Inter reluctant to press too frenetically. The onus is on the Nerazzurri to attack tonight. There are away goals in the Coppa Italia. Juventus know all about that. They actually went through to last season's final on away goals. A Cristiano Ronaldo penalty on this ground proved crucial, albeit against Milan. Here he is on the ball, surging away from Vidal. Just behind McKennie, but Kulusevski collects. Alexandro. Ronaldo got the call from Cuadrado. Juventus dominating possession. Just waiting for the thrust, trying to pick their moment. Plot a way through the Nerazzurri backline, which has been good, certainly in the league recently. Just that goal from Ibrahimovic here in the Cup. The only time they've been breached in recent times. But Inter's passage to this stage of the competition has been less serene than Juventus's. Late goals required in Florence and against Milan. Rabiot. Alexandro will deliver. Out by Skriniar. Vidal has time. And spotted the run of Alexis Sanchez. Demiral for company. Good work from the Chilean. Barella on the burst. Lautaro Martinez wants it and gets it! And finds the back of the net! Barella to Lautaro Martinez. First blood to Inter. And we've not even played 9 minutes. The Nerazzurri in transition. A hallmark of Conte's play. Executed to perfection. Pirlo's men fall behind early doors. Alexis Sanchez playing the role of Lukaku, holding it up, waiting for Barella to join in. And Lautaro Martinez stole the march on De Ligt. And whilst Buffon got a hand to it, he couldn't keep it out. And are we going to see a repeat of the league fixture here? It's Inter who strike first. Lautaro Martinez back in the goals, full of confidence. A new father as well, after the birth of little Nina. And having scored against Benevento, he's scored in the big one here. And it's Conte once again coming back to haunt his former employers. And now you sense the tie will come to life. It had been all Juventus pressure up until then. Inter had looked fairly disinterested in the ball, happy to sit back. Andrea Pirlo said he'd learned some lessons from the league defeat here. Certainly one of the key themes to emerge from that match was just how lethal Inter could be in getting up the pitch at pace. Conventional wisdom tonight said they would be less potent without Hakimi and 20-goal Lukaku. But in Lautaro Martinez they have a top-class striker. Plenty of praise due to Alexis Sanchez and Barella too. Away goes Alexis Sanchez again. This time Buffon was on his mettle. Cuadrado, McKennie. Whistle goes against the home side. Juventus have a curious relationship with the Coppa Italia. They won it in 1995, then went 2 decades without lifting the domestic cup, then proceeded to win 4 in a row under Max Allegri, 4 League and Cup doubles, which certainly put Conte's legacy in a slightly more negative light, particularly given Allegri led Juventus to 2 Champions League finals. Conte often criticised when he was the Juventus head coach for his inability to perform in Europe. That's a theme which has dogged him thus far at Inter too. 3rd place last season and a Europa League final. Bottom of the table in this season's Champions League group, featuring the likes of Shakhtar Donetsk and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Darmian looks long. Certainly was a bold selection from Pirlo. He does have a huge squad. De Ligt and Demiral are no mugs, but Chiellini and Bonucci both on the bench would have raised a few eyebrows. Here's McKennie. Good tussle that between him and Bastoni. Juventus won't be fazed by adversity. They are still the team to beat. 9 straight league titles, 13-time winners of this competition. But they trail here. Incidentally, that was Lautaro's first goal in this competition this season. Eriksen, Vidal and Lukaku with 2. The other scorers. But given how early the goal came, there is scope for Inter to try and take a healthy lead to Allianz Stadium. We have seen fireworks in the past before in 2-legged ties between these two. That's going to be a yellow card for Mere Demiral. Not one of those that was a booking away from suspension for Juventus. That's Bernardeschi, Bentancur and Rabiot. Inter have 4 starters walking a disciplinary tightrope. Skriniar, Brozovic, Vidal and Alexis Sanchez. Demiral frustrated there, or perhaps thought he could pinch back possession high up the pitch. Antonio Conte once again seemed to be paid by the minute for his pre-match Coppa Italia interview with the Nerazzurri's in-house channel. So you get a minute of talking, and that's plenty. But he did say Juventus would be really up for this after the league defeat, and called on his team to limit their mistakes. As for Pirlo, the watchword has been self-confidence, self-belief. The Bianconeri boss has said he wants to see a side that knows just how good they are. Certainly the hierarchy in the Italian game was evident in the Super Cup. Hakimi and Lukaku both suspended tonight, but that does mean injuries accepted. They will surely be there for the second leg 7 days from now. The other semi-final incidentally pits Napoli and Atalanta against one another, so there could be a repeat of the 2020 final when Juventus lost on penalties to the Azzurri. This could have been the final last year, but Inter bowed out of the last 4. Juventus went 1 round further. Inter could only draw at the San Paolo, having lost here by a 0-0. Fabian Ruiz with the strike, but that 1-1 scoreline in Naples doesn't tell the full story. It's a great game from David Ospina. And Napoli struck on the counter. Risky ball from Vidal, calmly done by Skriniar. Barella, unable to find Alexis Sanchez. Kulusevski's been quiet thus far, but he wins a free kick. Arguably the boldest selection decision from Pirlo was perhaps to leave out Federico Chiesa, who has been in sparkling form, particularly in 2021 for the Bianconeri. Ronaldo did enough to convince Gianpaolo Calvarese he should have had a free kick, claiming he was wheeled away there by Alexis Sanchez, and he had a point too. Clear foul from his opposite number. Chances at a premium thus far. The one opportunity into fashion, they took it. Lautaro Martinez beating Buffon. Juventus yet to test Handanovic, but chance to do so here, depending on the quality from Bernardeschi. Skriniar keeping tabs on Ronaldo. McKennie boxed in between Bastoni and De Vrij. Taken short by Bernardeschi. This is Bentancur. Now Cuadrado. In it comes from the Colombian. Darmian's header away. Barella could only play it as far as Alexandro. Doesn't get many. Darmian's header wasn't the best. Barella did clatter into Ronaldo, who looked rather optimistically across at the match official. Bastoni, Young, given away to Rabiot. McKennie might keep this in. Slightly loose from Ashley Young. Certainly the form book at this stage is against Inter, very much in Juventus's favour. On the last 3 occasions that the Nerazzurri have made it to 2-legged finals since the format changed, they've bowed out. 2013, 2016 and last year. As for Juventus, 5 straight semi-finals they've negotiated, 4 of those ending in triumph. And the one exception, that loss to Napoli, Milik with the winning penalty. Well in by De Ligt. Alexandro went down. Juventus certainly feel that the Nerazzurri are targeting them early on here. Plenty of cheap free kicks being conceded by the home side. Barella called into line by Gianpaolo Calvarese. And that was late and relatively high. Cuadrado, a man who has a happy knack of providing goals for the Bianconeri, 11 assists, including that very unselfish passage of play late on at Sampdoria, rolling it into the feet of Aaron Ramsey. He did likewise for Morata in added time in the Super Cup. Inter will be very wary of the Colombian. Bentancur, that's McKennie, this is Rabiot. Bernardeschi. Inter organised. It will take some good football from Juventus to break down the Nerazzurri. But the champions have been free-flowing. They appeared to be clicking into gear under Pirlo in recent weeks. But this is not their strongest starting 11. Needless to say, reinforcements are abundant on the bench. The likes of Morata and Chiesa in particular. One by Demiral, this is De Ligt, holding off Alexis Sanchez. Bentancur releases Cuadrado. Rabiot. Kulusevski, a goal and an assist, both against Genoa in the round of 16 and Spal in the quarter-finals. Ronaldo, the ref nearly got in his way. Ronaldo unhappy with Gianpaolo Calvarese. Juventus keep possession though, here he is again. Cristiano Ronaldo, wanting the give and go with Kulusevski. Skriniar read it. Darmian with the last touch. Juventus trying to box Inter in here. Subplots are plenty, but certainly De Ligt against De Vrij is an interesting one. International colleagues, rivals really, with Virgil van Dijk, the undisputed starter at centre-back for Holland. There's Daley Blind too. Nathan Ake. Cuadrado. Good spot. This is Alexandro. Away from Barella. Bernardeschi can measure across. And it's miscued. Cuadrado saying he was fouled. Bastoni telling him to get to his feet. And now the Derby d'Italia is coming to life. Well, we had Lukaku against Ibrahimovic in the quarter-finals. In the Derby della Madonnina tonight, in the Derby d'Italia. The first spat is between Bastoni and Cuadrado. Well, it was Ashley Young who was the wrong side there of Cuadrado. And I'm sure the video assistant referee Massimiliano Irati will be looking at this, because Young was concerned. Cuadrado felt the contact. Didn't like that from Handanovic telling him to get to his feet. And Juventus, arguably with a legitimate shout for a penalty here. And indeed, Gianpaolo Calvarese is going across. A naive piece of defending from Ashley Young. It doesn't look good for Inter. Once Cuadrado was the wrong side of him and he put his hands on his shoulder, then this was always likely to be flagged up. The VAR has done just that, and Inter's lead might be short-lived. Is Cuadrado onside first and foremost? He looks it, and Ashley Young yanks down on his left arm. That's not just contact, that's persistent pulling. And if the technology holds up for Gianpaolo Calvarese, I have a sneaky suspicion that Juventus will have the chance to level from 12 yards. Unfortunately, the feed has dropped between the VAR room and the pitchside monitor. Ashley Young hauling Cuadrado down, and you could sense immediately from the Colombian's reaction that he felt he had been wronged. What will Gianpaolo Calvarese decide? Penalty. And a yellow card too. Conte's lead afforded to them by Lautaro Martinez is now in severe doubt. Bernardeschi's cross was overhit, but Ashley Young was suitably concerned by the direct running of Juan Cuadrado. The Englishman can argue all he wants, but the VAR and Gianpaolo Calvarese have spoken, and what a chance for Cristiano Ronaldo. Scored a late penalty to secure a 1-1 draw in last season's semi-final first leg against Milan. This is a lot earlier, and it could give Juventus not only an even footing in this game, but momentum to go forward. A huge moment in this semi-final. Up steps Ronaldo, and he scores! Juventus back on level terms. A tricky month of January for CR7, but convincing from 12 yards. Young's error punished by Juventus' main man. Barella will continue to protest, but it's Juventus that are celebrating. Cristiano Ronaldo, so cool from the spot. 3 days shy of his 36th birthday, and the man just keeps on going. The Portuguese striker just keeps on scoring, and Juventus back where they need to be. They hadn't threatened Handanovic's goal at all, but Inter were naive. Young was guilty, and Ronaldo made him pay. Well, one back by Kulusevski. Now Juventus have the bit between their teeth. Bernardeschi. Inter looking a bit ragged. McKennie. Back for Cuadrado. The Bianconeri with the away goal, and sensing an opportunity to expose some more frailties. It was Ibrahimovic at that end of the ground, Curva Nord, where the Inter fans reside. This time Ronaldo making no mistake from the spot. Scored in the Super Cup final against Napoli, scored in the Coppa Italia semi tonight. He had only found the net once in 5 meetings against Inter prior to tonight. Looking to put that to rights. Darmian, well in by De Ligt. Now suddenly Juventus first to every ball. It's not just Conte with a past association to Juventus. Pirlo was once a youth team player with Inter. Childhood Nerazzurri fan. But found his fortune elsewhere. Brescia under Mazzone, who moved him back into a deeper role, and then European triumphs with Milan, domestic success in abundance at the latter stage of his career with Juventus. And Conte, who helped inspire him on the route to becoming a coach. Alexis Sanchez able to bring it down, but not hit the target. Either way, the flag was up. Half an hour's football at San Siro, which has gone by in the blink of an eye. Cuadrado finding Bentancur. Not technically an assist for the Colombian in that he was fouled for the penalty, but once again He played a crucial role in the Juventus goal. Alexandro. Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo looking to get away from Barella. Now Rabiot takes over. Juventus trying to force the issue before the break. Bentancur. Very nearly dispossessed there by Vidal. Credit to the Uruguayan for standing tall, staying strong. Demiral. Cuadrado. It has been a typical cup tie. Traditional semi-final first leg in just how tight it's been. Chances at a premium, one apiece, and they've both resulted in a goal. Inter from open play, Juventus from the penalty spot. Skriniar. Positive play from the Slovak. He thought he was fouled and is no doubt relieved to hear the referee's whistle. Kulusevski having a nibble there. Bastoni. Young, no doubt, will be keen to atone for that lapse in concentration, that error in judgment. Alexis Sanchez, off scampers Darmian. Alexandro with the foul. This might be a yellow card as well. Indeed it is. Alexandro saying if that's a yellow card, we may as well stop here. The Brazilian doesn't share the referee's opinion, but the assistant was the one to flag it up. Bonucci always has something to say. Buffon looking to organise into with a rare opportunity to swing a ball into the box. They scored from this position against Benevento on Saturday. An own goal from Improta, but that was Eriksson stood over the set piece. Tonight it's either Brozovic or Sanchez. In it comes from Alexis Sanchez, and the header is narrowly wide. Both De Vrij and Skriniar rising. The latter with the final touch. Just unable to direct it on target, but he timed his jump well there, Milan Skriniar. Bastoni made to hurry by Ronaldo. Portuguese unhappy by the lack of support as he led the press. Skriniar. Under pressure from Bernardeschi. Now Kulusevski goes to close down Handanovic. Inter in a bit of spot and bother. Bentancur took it into touch. You do sense the other semi-final will be more open on the basis that Napoli can really let loose when the mood takes them. Atalanta know only one way of playing under Gasperini. Forward thinking on the front foot. Vidal. Darmian. Skriniar. Barella was careless. Alexandro. Now Rabiot needs a helping hand. Well played by Darmian to get the block in. Delict was there ahead of Alexis Sanchez. Rabiot heads away. Neat and tidy from Stefan De Vrij. Handanovic comes out. Ronaldo's picked Bastoni's pocket, and that is a gift for Juventus. Perfectly finished by their top scorer. A rare defensive lapse from Inter. A mix-up between Handanovic and Bastoni, and that's the last person you want to leave the ball unguarded to. Ronaldo made that look oh so simple, but the finish was exquisite. His second, Juventus' second. The Bianconeri complete the turnaround, but a right old mess there. Bastoni wanted Handanovic to come. The captain was late. Bastoni felt he had to take matters into his own hands, and in doing so, he ran straight into Cristiano Ronaldo. And then the interminable, anxious wait to see whether the ball would go the right side of the post. It certainly did. Ruthless Ronaldo. Clinical Cristiano. And Juventus jubilant. Conte in the background there in your shot. His expression, an absolute picture. This Juventus lead, all of Inter's own doing really. They've shot themselves in the foot. Ashley Young hauling down Cuadrado, gifting the champions a penalty, and then Bastoni and Handanovic not on the same page. And the man who's got his name on the score sheet once again is Cristiano Ronaldo. What a fabulous cup tie it's been so far. Few would have predicted 3 goals in 35 minutes. That's exactly what we've got at the Meazza. And if you needed any reminder as to why Juventus have won the last 9 Scudetti, if you want any reminder as to why the Bianconeri are the record holders in this competition with 13 triumphs, we've seen a snapshot of it there. Even when the Bianconeri are not at their brilliant best, their opponents so often help them out. Rabiot, is there to be a third for Juventus? Really in the mood now, Pirlo's side. Alexandro. Absolutely no need to force or hurry things now for last year's finalists. Well, this is Ronaldo's 3rd season at Juventus. They were knocked out by Atalanta in his first campaign. They were beaten by Napoli in the final last season. He's yet to lift, I should say, the domestic cup in Italy. You sense he's on a mission to change that. Here he is again. Was he caught by Vidal? Advantage played. Vidal is going to miss the second leg of this semi-final. The Chilean unhappy with Ronaldo's reaction. He felt that's what got him the caution. There was minimal contact. He was late. But I think it might have actually been Vidal's reaction which has ultimately cost him a caution. Gianpaolo Calvarese had let the advantage go. You sense he was going to sanction Vidal with a yellow card in any case, but that reaction there brought forward the decision, and Inter are beginning to unravel a touch. So whereas Lukaku and Hakimi missed the first leg through suspension, Arturo Vidal will sit out the second. And thus far, the selection decision justified for Pirlo, naming a slightly weakened side, controlled squad rotation, brilliant control meanwhile from Dejan Kulusevski. So hard to stop once he gets moving. McKennie lost the opportunity to cross but keeps possession. And then played it straight into touch. A rather insipid start for the American. McKennie will face a FC Dallas reunion coming up at the weekend. Juventus in action at home against Roma. Giallorossi now boasting Brian Reynolds. Was Lautaro Martinez fouled there? Rabiot made to hurry by Barella, who's relentless. But Juventus mopping everything up. First to the loose ball. Winning the 50-50s, and above all, in command in terms of the scoreline, thanks to this man and his brace, Ronaldo. Well in by Darmian. It wasn't a particularly successful January for Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored against Sassuolo, albeit a goal which didn't count much towards the result. But January ended on Sunday. Since then, looks a man transformed. He does tend to really find another gear as well when the matches come thick and fast, when there are trophies on the line. Juventus still involved on all fronts. They've already claimed one piece of silverware, the Super Cup. They could yet win the Scudetto, 10th year in a row, to make the final of this competition. And in the round of 16 of the Champions League, they'll play FC Porto, coached by a former Inter player in Sergio Conceição. Alexandro. Lovely ball from the Brazilian. Bentancur. Juventus playing with freedom. Bernardeschi can turn. Still Bernardeschi. Ronaldo takes over. Only McKennie in the middle. Ronaldo, long way out, but he got hold of it. And the Portuguese will be keen to transform 2 into 3 and celebrate a hat-trick. Clever ball from Lautaro Martinez. Brozovic forgot to take it with him. Well in by De Ligt, and now Kulusevski. Bernardeschi's cross behind Ronaldo. This is Bentancur. Thought about it and let fly, but straight at Handanovic. Well, Bentancur actually scored in the Coppa Italia last season. That was his only goal of the campaign in the quarter-final against Roma. There would have been very satisfying symmetry had he beaten Handanovic there. Bastoni. Hard to know who was more at fault there between Handanovic and Bastoni. Arguably the performer in that he dithered. Bastoni felt he had to deal with it for fear of Ronaldo getting there first, ironically. Then played the ball straight onto the toe of Cristiano Ronaldo. Hard for Conte to legislate for individual errors. That's what have cost Inter tonight. Still 2 minutes of the first half plus all of the second period to put things right. Lautaro Martinez has won a free kick. It is tense. Gianpaolo Calderese is having to be fairly stern to make sure this game doesn't get away from him. Inter could play the Eriksson card in the second half. Conte sent him on in added time in that match against Milan, scored the winning free kick. Bastoni's cross. Good positive claim from Buffon. Coming through the crowd. Conte actually said after that cup quarter-final that football's not rugby. You can't send on place kickers. I think he might have been confusing sports, but the notion is the same, still valid. Well in by Bentancur. Here come Juventus again. It's got Bernardeschi to his left. And now Kulusevski. Still Kulusevski. Ronaldo can tease it in. McKennie arriving, out by De Vrij. Well played by Rabiot once again. Juventus reading every single second ball. Dejan Kulusevski. Bentancur is in a bit of discomfort. As is Vidal. A clash between a Chilean and a Uruguayan. Both players seeking treatment. We've played the 45 minutes. Vidal's back pass didn't have the right weight on it. Bastoni was sick of waiting for Handanovic, and as he took matters into his own hands, there was the most lethal man in Italy and beyond. The one and only Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't make many mistakes, but that one is particularly costly. Ronaldo using his head. Pinsoglio, as ever, playing cheerleader. And Juventus doing what they do so well. turning up on the big occasion. Vidal is a warrior, no question that he'll be able to continue. Plenty of off-the-pitch uncertainty surrounding Inter. Possible sale from Suning, the majority shareholder. On the pitch, they've been good. Runners up last term by a point eventually to Juventus. That doesn't really tell the whole story, in that the Bianconeri lost 3 of their last 4, Inter won their final 3 to close the gap. Well in by Cuadrado. And now there are 6 black and white shirts breaking forward. Cuadrado for McKennie. Ronaldo tried to get there. Did he use his hands? Inter are furious. It's going to be a yellow card, surely. Ronaldo saying he didn't do it on purpose. The cross was slightly overhit. That was a needless yellow card for Juventus' goal scorer. And that is the final action of a really entertaining first 45 minutes. Inter with a fast start, courtesy of Lautaro Martinez, but then Ronaldo took centre stage, as he so often does. The Nerazzurri trail, half-time score at the Meazza. Inter 1, Juventus 2.
Indossare la mascherina e di lavarsi o igienizzarsi spesso le mani. È severamente vietato qualsiasi tipo di assembramento. Per qualsiasi necessità siete pregati di rivolgervi al personale di servizio. Grazie per la collaborazione. Vietato fumare. Ai sensi dell'articolo 9 del regolamento per la qualità dell'aria del Comune di Milano, approvato per deliberazione del Consiglio Comunale numero 56.
Welcome back out to the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza. Cristiano Ronaldo has come to the fore at San Siro. First half brace from him, cancelling out Lautaro Martinez. His early opener for Inter. Juventus have got better as the game has worn on. It's not been champagne football from either side, but the Bianconeri ruthless when it mattered. Ronaldo first from the spot and then able to capitalise on a slip from Bastoni. Javier Zanetti knows all about this fixture, the Inter vice president. Handanovic has been out there for a few minutes, but that's part and parcel of his second half routine. I'm sure the message in the Nerazzurri dressing room will be to put that mistake behind him. It's Pirlo who's smiling for the moment. Juventus playing catch-up in the league, but still plenty of time to overhaul the likes of Roma, Inter and Milan that are all above the champions at this moment in time. But having won the Super Cup, they have a lead here in this semi-final first leg. They have 2 away goals, and they are in the box seat when it comes to qualifying for the final in May in the Italian capital. No changes to either side at the start of this second period. We could yet see Eriksen. Might see the likes of Chiesa and Morata too as the evening wears on. Inter with it all to do, thanks to that man, Cristiano Ronaldo. As ever, Juventus's go-to man. We're back underway then, here at San Siro. These two have been involved in a fairly one-sided semi-final first leg before. Frey under pressure there from McKennie. It was in 2016, in fact. Here's Kulusevski, more on that in a moment. Nearly broke for Ronaldo. Skriniar does the tidying up. Juventus won the first leg 3-0 in Turin, and Brozovic contributed with a brace as Inter recorded the same scoreline in the second leg at the Meazza. Forced the game into extra time and then beyond. But Bonucci got the winning penalty as Juventus went on to triumph. Young. Plenty of Inter players out there now with a point to prove. Bastoni and Young, the three culprits for the two Juventus goals. Barella finding Alexis Sanchez, but De Ligt didn't enough to put him off his stride. A shake of the head for the man they call Pupi. That's his opposite number, the Juventus vice president Pavel Nedved. Both quality players in their own right. Zanetti, Inter's all-time record appearance maker. Pavel Nedved, once the Ballon d'Or winner. Skriniar. Darmian. Found Alexis Sanchez. That's Barella. That's late from De Ligt. Some of the Inter players suggesting that should be red. But Juventus are racking up the cards here. De Ligt joins Demiral and Alexandro at the back with bookings. Ronaldo too, cautioned right at the end of that first half that thrusting his hand at the ball, rather unsporting I should say, behaviour. Barella did a whole flip there. Now the VAR can intervene to upgrade this to a red, but the suggestion is the referee saw enough of it to award a yellow. Certainly Barella's reaction the somersault means that there was considerable force. Certainly the Italian was running at pace. The VAR has already intervened once tonight to give Juventus a penalty. Might they go down to 10 men here? Now Lukaku will be frustrated at that caution against Milan, meaning that he misses tonight's game. Managed to get booked in both of Inter's first two ties, so too Hakimi. Two cautions enough to force an automatic one-match ban in the Coppa Italia. So the yellow card stands for De Ligt. Barella on his haunches, but seemingly fit to continue. And it comes from Brozovic. That's Lautaro Martinez. And this is Ashley Young. And Buffon made light work of it. That would have been some way to atone for giving away the penalty. Sat up invitingly. He struck it very well indeed. Just needed to be a yard either side of the Juve captain. Bit of a ruckus in the 18-yard box. Gianpaolo Calvarese will need to keep a very close eye on this. Don't push or I won't let you play, says the referee. Fairly clear message. No scope for interpretation there. Short by Alexis Sanchez. Gets it back from Brozovic. The cross is well cut out by Bentancur. It is a busy run of fixtures for both of these sides, and they are tough matches coming up as well. More on that in a moment. Alexis Sanchez able to swivel, but then he dawdled in possession. Kulusevski now. This is McKennie. Cristiano Ronaldo. McKennie will collect. Very nearly through towards Rabiot. There's another late challenge. And a free kick for Juventus. McKennie caught by the challenge from Vidal, and that's why Juventus were raging. They wanted a second yellow card there. Vidal booked in the opening 45 minutes into very close to going down to 10. Leonardo Bonucci feels the Bianconeri have been on the receiving end of a miscarriage of justice there. Certainly increases the chances that Conte might decide to take Vidal off. In comes the free kick. Demiral's header. Pirlo thrust into the top job. Right at the start of his coaching career, but he's handling it well after what was a tricky autumn. Too many draws initially in Serie A. But Juve have set. Juan Cuadrado. Buffon clears all. Way on by McKennie. Well in by Brozovic. This is Skriniar. Coming back to the side's upcoming matches. Inter go to Florence on Friday again. Game which has drawn the ire of Antonio Conte, unhappy with when that was scheduled. Just a slight inkling as to where his priorities lie. He has already stated publicly that the league title is Inter's main goal. The upshot of Inter playing on Friday, Juventus playing on Saturday, is the Nerazzurri have an extra day to prepare for the second leg, which is next Tuesday. Quadrado caught by Young, who was booked for giving away the penalty. So Vidal escaped a second yellow, and this time the Englishman given a reprieve when a caution might have been warranted. So Inter's next game Fiorentina away, the second leg of this tie, and then a home match to Lazio before the second derby della Madonnina of the season. They lost the reverse fixture. Milan, the designated home side this time around, and it is very nominal on this occasion, with the match being played behind closed doors. As for Juventus, the visit of Roma next. Then the second leg of this one before a trip to the Maradona to play Napoli. Still no date on the reverse fixture, which was initially abandoned, then awarded to Juventus as a walkover. Then the slate was wiped clean, and after the trip to Naples, Juventus go to Portugal. And the Dragão before it gets a little bit easier towards the end of the month with the visit of Crotone. Same goes for Inter against Genoa, albeit hard to make a case for Genoa still being an easy fixture. Just ask Juventus, they were taking the distance by the on it in the round of 16, needed extra time and a goal from the unlikely source of Hamza Rafia to go through. That was a foul by Brozovic. He's one of the players who are booking away from suspension. They've already lost Vidal for the return. They can ill afford to be shorn of the creation as well. Juventus taking some treatment in the early stages of this second half into leaving plenty of challenges in. Nearly gave it to Young. Demiral did excellently. And they've beaten the press. Kulusevski offset. It's Cuadrado. The ball took a while to reach the Colombian. Here he is now. Cuadrado. This is Bernardeschi, deflected. And Handanovic did just about enough. An unorthodox, instinctive stop from the Inter skipper. Bernardeschi's shot came off De Vrij. Credit to Handanovic. Ronaldo. Back it goes to Alexandro. Easily away from Barella. Now De Ligt. Lining one up. Handanovic able to watch it wide. Matthijs de Ligt yet to score this season. He did play 90 minutes in the previous round, that 4-0 win over Spal. Bastoni, who produced that wonderful assist for Barella for the second goal in the league game tonight. His performance overshadowed by that error for Ronaldo's second. Taken quickly by Brozovic. Barella. Time and space for Alexis Sanchez. Lautaro Martinez felt a hand on the shoulder. He was in an offside position, which spares the referee. Perhaps a slightly awkward decision to make there. The man nicknamed the Bull, El Toro, did seem to go down rather easily. Demiral has certainly learned the lingo. And the gestures, Bentancur turned into trouble. Alexis Sanchez is somehow denied by Mary Demiral. Fabulous defending. This time it was Juventus' turn to make a mistake, but Inter unable to profit. Shades of Lukaku's goal, his first one against Benevento when Lautaro Martinez closed down Monty Port. Here is Alexis Sanchez. Lovely shape on the cross, and Skriniar, not for the first time tonight, got his head to the ball. What a let-off there for Juventus. Bentancur with the heavy touch, well won by Vidal. And somehow, Demiral going the wrong way, didn't know too much about it, stuck out a leg. And that is worth the goal, hence why he celebrates so vehemently. And a big pat on the back from Gigi Buffon. Still Alexis Sanchez, he's won a corner. Keen to make his mark. It's been a tough season for him, only a couple of goals. They came in back-to-back games in late November. Here against Torino and the Mappe against Sassuolo. He has to step up tonight in the absence of Lukaku through suspension. And it comes from Alexis Sanchez. Headed out as far as Kulusevski. It's broken kindly for Vidal. Alexis Sanchez has found half a yard. Buffon there to claim it comfortably. Last week was a very strange one as well for Alexis Sanchez. Persistent reports linking him with a move away from Milan. There was talk of a swap deal with Roma's Edin Dzeko, never came to pass. Cuadrado. Telegraphed, well won by Barella. McKennie was surrounded by blue shirts. Now, who caught who? McKennie's gone down, so too Barella. Barella took the ball. McKennie slightly late to the punch. Both Conte and Lele Oriali in attendance tonight. They weren't here against Benevento on Saturday. Conte serving the first of a two-match ban. Oriali got a one-game suspension. They both said too much in Udine. Well won by Cuadrado. It's that stage where Juventus are almost cheering every single successful challenge, completed clearance, and above all, brilliant block from Demiral. Bastoni, young in a pocket of space, unable to collect the back heel from Alexis Sanchez. This is Cuadrado. Roles have been inverted here. Right at the start of the match, it was Inter looking to spring forward on the counter. Now Juventus, as the away side with the league, can just force Inter to do something special. Well played by Young. This is Bastoni. Alexis Sanchez. Brozovic now. Lautaro Martinez, I think, bought the dummy just like everyone else. Thought his teammate was going to shoot. Hence didn't make the run that the Croatian expected. Pirlo had been very prescient in his pre-match comments. He said Inter are very good at sitting deep and hitting on the counter. That's what they did, the opening goal, but since then Ronaldo has taken the game by the scruff of the neck. Rabiot under pressure. Very calmly done by the Frenchman. Buffon made to hurry. That's Cuadrado. Well in by Brozovic. Young was offside. Or in fact, he used his arm. Perhaps the armpit there of the former Manchester United man. Alexandro's header. Skriniar gave it to Ronaldo, but Vidal seizes on the loose ball. Bilic told to stay on his feet there in no uncertain terms. Here comes Ivan Perisic, and it's a special day for him, his 32nd birthday. Brozovic round the corner. That was Lautaro Martinez. This is Skriniar. Darmian. Vidal. Alexis Sanchez. He was once again well marshalled. They've kept close tabs on the Chilean. Rabiot. Will be interesting to see who Perisic replaces, presumably Young, who has been cautioned. Perisic can technically operate as a second striker, but it's not an option that Conte has often looked to. The Nerazzurri head coach in danger of becoming a nearly man for the Nerazzurri. Defeated in the Europa League final by Sevilla. Second in Serie A last season. Out in the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia last term. And behind in the first leg of the last four this. And lest we forget, second in Serie A. Potential tag of always the bridesmaid for Conte. The team as ever wearing white, Juventus. Barella. Good strong challenge by Bentancur, a fair one. Kulusevski for Ronaldo. No real urgency about Juventus in the final third. They clearly backed themselves to be able to manage this advantage were they to take a lead back to Turin. Young. Lautaro Martinez. Nearly too quick for Demiral, who did well to keep his balance. Bentancur. Told to calm things down by Buffon. Ronaldo in the channel. He's got Kulusevski in support. Here he is now. Rabiot joining in. Thought about the shot. Bernardeschi towards McKennie. And Young had to deal with it. Confirmation then, it is Ashley Young to make way. Christian Stellini gives Ashley Young a high five, but he doesn't look in particularly good spirits. As well you might expect after conceding that early penalty. In to have some defending to do. Cuadrado with the corner. Up in the air by McKennie. Out by Bastoni. Here's the American again, McKennie. Bentancur. Cuadrado had no second thought but to put the ball into the box. Inter could do with exploiting the added attacking threat that Perisic affords them. The elegant Bastoni bypasses Vidal. This is Perisic. Well blocked by Cuadrado. Perisic has found Vidal though. Alexis Sanchez wants it in the middle. Doesn't get it from his compatriot, Perisic. Cuadrado has improved immensely defensively over the last few years. Converted from a winger into a fullback, and there are a few better in the Italian top flight. Barella. It breaks here for Alexis Sanchez. De Ligt did really well to recover. Good spell though this for Inter. Darmian. Brozovic gets the return from Alexis Sanchez. Brozovic was looking for Perisic. Cuadrado once again with good positional sense. Kulusevski blocked off there by Bastoni, was he? No, says the referee. A couple of former Atalanta and Parma players. Vidal. Brozovic took too long. It's just not happening for Inter. Unable to work their way through towards Buffon's goal. Darmian. Barella. Skriniar. Bastoni. It needs a bit of creativity, a touch of imagination, you sense, for the Nerazzurri. Eriksen could be the man. Alexis Sanchez. Lautaro Martinez. Alexis Sanchez again. And this is Darmian. Great feet. Good save, Buffon. Still there for Perisic. And Cuadrado puts it behind. The captain came up with a super stop there. Credit to Darmian for the presence of mind to take this inside away from Bernardeschi. Did everything right, but Buffon stayed big and pushed it away. Once again, Demiral was on the line. He might have kept it out again. A chance goes begging for Conte's men. Bernardeschi's evening is up. On comes Danilo, who's played more minutes than anyone else for Juventus in Serie A. Equally able at right back and at left. Alexis Sanchez with the corner. Buffon really savours these opportunities, you sense, to remind everyone of just what a good goalkeeper he is. Turned 43 5 days ago. Reflexes still as sharp as ever. Astonishing to think that he was once a prodigy, teenage talent for Parma, and all these years on, still performing at the highest level of the game. Cristiano Ronaldo. Still Ronaldo. That will be a corner. I'm not sure Handanovic kept it in play. Didn't appear to have done, but the official's happy to let play continue. Perisic. Alexis Sanchez. Vidal. Skriniar. Still Skriniar. And back for him. And then Vidal took it off his toe. A curious decision there. And Juventus could yet make Inter pay. Cuadrado has found Kulusevski. He's got McKennie joining in. Still Dejan Kulusevski. And between them, Barella and Brozovic dispossessed him. Wonderful cut tie this. It's been end-to-end at times. There have been plenty of chances. We've had 3 goals and we could yet have more with 20 minutes to play. Arturo Vidal thought about the shot, couldn't make his mind up. Brozovic for Lautaro Martinez. And Buffon, just for a moment, was concerned by that. Lovely shape on the hit from the Argentine. Didn't quite get it round and down in time. But the connection was good, as was this from Darmian.